Good evening, folks. It's your guy J Crew to you, coming to you with my very first video for the new year, January 1st, 2022. Want to say Happy New Year to everyone who was blessed enough to make it here to a new year. Wish nothing but good things for you and your family, and I hope you wish the same for me and mine. Open up this year by doing a video about some of the championship series games last night, the playoff games rather. Of course, Alabama played Cincinnati around 3:30 yesterday, and they pretty much controlled that game, albeit in a more unspectacular fashion. Alabama. Don't remember the exact score. I was kind of halfway paying attention to that game because I kind of knew the outcome of that. I knew from the beginning that Alabama just did not have the same level of talent that Cincinnati didn't have the same level of talent as Alabama. And so they pretty much just ran the ball a whole lot. I think the running back for Alabama had 204 yards, Brian Robinson Jr., and the quarterback for Alabama, who was the Heisman Trophy winner, he didn't really have to do that much. So he had a very understated game. I think he threw for maybe 180 some yards, maybe one as sharp as we're used to seeing him. His name is Bryce Young, and he just kind of served in an understated capacity in that game. So he didn't do too much in that game. And so again, I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet. We all expect Alabama to go beat up on those guys. And I mean, there's no surprise with that. I mean, Cincinnati just didn't have any answer for Alabama offensively. Um, they look like what you would thought a Cincinnati team would look like versus the top team in the country in Alabama. So the second game, which was the University of Georgia versus Michigan, that was supposed to be the more competitive game. Everybody was kind of more jacked up about that because Michigan, being the number 2 team in the country, is facing Georgia, who was the number 3 team in the country. So most people feel like they were going to be more evenly matched because Michigan had a real good year. Their running game was supposed to be upper echelon this year. And the quarterback was, at times spectacular, but for the most part, just consistently solid in Cade McNamara. But they ran into the buzzsaw in who would be the Georgia Bulldogs, who, of course, compete in the Southeastern Conference. This game was very disappointing because, I mean, it was 30-11, as you see on the screen here in the end, with Georgia, of course, getting the winning nod. But it really was never competitive, really. Then from what I saw, it was like Michigan didn't even bother to show up for this game. Um, they seemed like they had no answers for UGA offensively for the most part. They maybe had 2 long passes down the field, but that was pretty much it. The running game wasn't there, was Georgia shut down. The passing game really wasn't there. And it was just very disappointing to watch Michigan. Cause I thought I was going to see way more than what I saw. It was as if their coach, Jim Harbaugh, didn't have them ready to compete against Georgia. Georgia pretty much did what they wanted to do passing this game. Like the quarterback Stetson Bennett, I think he was like maybe like 20 out of 31 or 20 out of 30 for like 304 yards. He had 3 passing touchdowns. And, Stetson had a pretty good game. He really wasn't pressured all that much. And when he was able to, for the most part, scramble out of the way. Stetson maybe had one crazy pass when he was going towards his right. He tried to throw it back to the center of the field, and it wasn't almost picked off, but we're used to seeing like a wacky play like that from Stetson Bennett in some of these games where there's a lot on the line. He'll have 1 or 2 wacky plays that just don't make too much sense that he'll go out there and sort of like, try to complete. But other than that, I thought he had a pretty good game. A lot of people have been complaining about Stetson being Georgia's quarterback because I think I've done videos about this already if you follow my channel. But he's considered to be a lesser talented guy compared to other guys on the roster. But I think as of right now, he has over 2,600 yards passing, which is solid, for the Georgia Bulldogs. And he's the quarterback right now that people need to understand is going to play in a couple of Mondays, against, Alabama. Was it Monday, January 10th? And, it's a national championship game, so it's going to be Georgia versus Alabama. And so, really excited about it. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna pick Alabama right now because Georgia cannot figure out a way to beat them as it stands. So I'm gonna just roll Crimson Tide right now. And so, like I said, I'm a Georgia fan and a Georgia guy, but I just don't think they until I actually see them beat Alabama, I'm not gonna give them the nod. So I'm gonna give the national championship nod to the Alabama Crimson Tide until I see otherwise. Again, I'm gonna keep this video short and sweet. You got J. Crew to you coming at you with the first video here for January 1st, 2022. Hopefully you all have a great year here, and hopefully we'll be able to get out of this pandemic that we're in at some point this year. Um, I just ask that everybody continue to pray for each other and just do what's best for you. In terms of getting that jab. I know people have varying opinions on that. Just do what's best for you and your family. Uh, if you like my videos, click the like button. If you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. J. Crew to you. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one.